Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, I got some news for you. We have a dense fog advisory. If you have the Captain Accurate Weather app, you knew about this like in the wee hours of the morning. You don't need me to tell you, but there is actually one in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. Last checked at McGee-Tyson, visibility down to a half mile. It was down to an eighth of a mile at 3 a.m., roughly the time that the National Weather Service in Morristown issued the dense fog advisory. It does not apply to Morgan County. Apparently, it does not apply to Scott County or Cumberland County, but it does encompass most of us in East Tennessee. We could exclude Fentress County as well, but a quarter mile or less certainly is on the table, so just be extra careful this morning. And this doesn't expire at 7 or 8. This goes till 9 a.m., so you might have some patches of dense fog. And some of what we can see is in miles here. It's down to 2 miles, maybe around over the city. I mentioned the airport observation was 0.5, half mile visibility at the airport, but it may be less in some parts of where you are. I'm kind of curious to know what you're seeing this morning, or maybe you're not seeing much. If you've already gotten to work and want to share a story with me, a comment, love to see it. I got the Jeep from Steve Stone on YouTube saying good morning. He's got the smiley face, and the sun may not have as much sun as one might hope today, but it's going to be awfully warm. Temperatures today should be well into the mid to upper 60s today, Steve. Very happy that you're here. But again, visibility may be part of the story this morning as you start your day. Very warm. I expected lows around 53. That's where we are right now. 53 at the airport, but it's 56 in Oak Ridge and 54 in Morristown. I'm kind of curious to know what kind of temperatures you're starting off with. To put this into context, the normal high and low is 50 and 33. So if we're already above the normal high, I mean, the fact that the normal low is 33 and we're at 53, we're 20 degrees above normal this morning at this very hour. Well, it's 56 in Crossville. The plateau is actually a few degrees warmer. And you can see why. It's those little red arrows that are swimming up from the southwest. That's what's going to gust, I think, around 35 miles per hour through midday. High temperatures today should occur between noon and 2. Mark your calendar. Set your phone. Like a little alarm. Between noon and 2 is when I expect we'll run towards 69. Some of us will push 70. The record high is 73, going back to Calvin Coolidge back in 1924. I don't think we're going to hit 73. But it could feel like it's like all of a sudden like springtime around here. Some of us will be scratching their heads like, I thought this was supposed to be Christmassy weather. Well, you get both. In this type of pattern, you get wild temperature swings, and that's what we're having happen today. The Ultimate Doppler radar presented by your local Marco's Pizza shows the dense fog advisories, but it doesn't show much in the way of rain, as most of it has migrated up toward Kentucky at this hour. There are some flood concerns, flood watches in green across Middle Tennessee, parts of Kentucky, but this is a review over the last 8 hours, and you can see precisely the time at the top there of when the dense fog advisory started, just around the 3 o'clock hour, and it put it mostly through northeast Tennessee as well, and through the Southern Valley. So we'll keep an eye on this. By the way, Marco's Pizza, great place to go if you're looking for some lunch plans. Marcos.com. If you have a location that's near Hardin Valley, they do deliver. If you have a location near Farragut, they do deliver. They're in Maryville, Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge. You'll find them in Middlebrook Pike and Ebenezer Road. They are corporate sponsors of No Kid Hungry. They give back to the community quite a bit, and they're also giving back to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. Hey, you have a magnificent pizza they call the Magnifico for less than $10. Check it out, but if you're looking for a lunch item, may I recommend the pepperoni and sausage? That's my favorite. For less than $6, and make sure you get the dipping sauce that you prefer, but they've got 4 varieties there: chicken bacon ranch, pepperoni, and buffalo chicken. Doesn't that sound good for lunch? That might be a good lunch idea. Now, there's a lot of active weather as we look at the radar once again. It's not here, but it's on the west end of the state. It extends to Clarksville. There is the possibility that some of the storms that develop this afternoon, and yes, I said storms, could be on the stronger side. We have some isolated severe storms in the offering today. That's a pivot from the Storm Prediction Center just from yesterday, but I mentioned it in greater detail last night during last night's video. You can see a lot of the rain extending all the way from Memphis up toward Bowling Green and into central sections of Kentucky. So it's going to take a while to get here, but when it rains, it will likely pour in some cases. Because we have very little wind in the valley, we have more concerns for fog, but where the winds are stirring, like Fentress County, Scott County, there is no such dense fog advisory. Winds are stirring. You got a 14-mile-an-hour wind speed in Oneida, 11 in Jamestown. You're probably going to have less of a concern for fog. when the winds are stirring. The winds are a little stronger in the Smokies. They're over 20-some miles per hour. But here's the radar and the clouds put together. Shows you what's coming our way. Got a couple of other comments. I want to say good morning to our friend Fred. He says it's a little foggy. He does note it's 53 in Maryville and Blount County. Michael Hawk is also on here. He's one of my premium members. He said, good morning, all. Hey, who's scared off the cold weather? It'll come back, Michael. Hang in there. In fact, I have some flakes coming in on Friday for some of us, and that will be something to watch. And then, of course, Danny says, good morning. Hope you have a very nice day. Go Vols. Stay warm, my friend, if you're headed to the game in Columbus. I'll have more on that forecast in an update in just a few moments, so stay with me. By the way, it's 6:45. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour. It's kind of what we do here most weekdays, with the exception of Mondays. But I do want to mention that temperature 51 right now in Johnson City. Well, it's a toasty 62 in Nashville. And if Jackson, Kentucky is at 66, is it any wonder that Aldridge thinks we're going to hit 69? We could hit 69 degrees today. That'd be interesting. Put us about 4 degrees shy of the record high. Speaking of which, yesterday's high was 62. Did it feel like 62 to you? It was. Anyway, we hit 62. That was the expectation. Picked up only 0.01 inches of rain. That does bring us to about 3.5 for the month. Gust of wind was 20. I think it'll be 35 today. I think it's going to be considerably stronger. And that wind will occur between noon and 2. I think that's when you're going to see the big spike. It's like temperatures are going to jump maybe 5, 7, 8 degrees in 1 hour. It's one of those types of deals. 73, the record high from 1924. Calvin Coolidge era, and 7, the record low from 1875. So it's kind of like an interesting perspective to see how the weather can change on a dime. As many of us know in East Tennessee, it's also true of Middle Tennessee, and I would say West Tennessee. They all have kind of that wild and woolly weather in this time of year, and December typically can be a wild card. Today, we're looking for a high of 71 in Maryville. Woohoo! Oh, no way. Yeah, 73 in Newport. That would tie Knoxville's record, but I think we're at 69 at McGee. Tyson. 59 for Middlesboro. That's not as warm, but it's 63. Expectation there in Crossville. And what you probably are noticing is the flashings of light. There will be some lightning, some thunderstorms possible today, and some of them could be on the strong side, especially west of I-75. We'll look at that here momentarily. It is 6:47. The sun doesn't come up till 7:41. Our days continue to get shorter until we reach when? The winter solstice. Well, when's that? That's Saturday. So we're going to kind of keep the days really, really short, keep the nights really, really long until we get to Saturday. And then it's magically a long day. No, we have to just kind of reverse put the car in reverse to start maybe adding some seconds to each day. So we'll see that transition. But it doesn't get much worse than this as far as the shortness of days. 7:41, sun's up. Sun sets now at 5:25. It was 5:24 yesterday. So we're kind of like in that transition where we're getting to that point where the winter solstice marking the shortest days of the year. Bus stop forecast should be in the low 60s. A lot of kids are winding down their academic calendar for this month because they'll be taking a break if they haven't already, but we'll keep an eye on that. Some of them might be in final exams. That may be a thing right now. But December high temperatures, we did hit 62 yesterday. We hit 59 on Monday. But what is interesting is that Wednesday the 11th, a week ago today, we went from rain to snow. The 56-degree temperature occurred at midnight, and we picked up 0.7 inches of snow. That's the only snow we've had so far this season, but it was only a week ago. Just a week ago, that's it. And we were off to a fast start. We had 7 days in a row of below average temperatures. So sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. You can see there are some snow showers in the Great Lakes. It's raining pretty steadily across Indiana, southern, and into parts of Ohio. That's all headed in this direction, so that will cause the temperatures to tumble for the rest of the week. So far, we've picked up 3.63 inches of rain and melted snow. Not a lot of snow, but some. And 5 inches is typical. So what's nice, what you're looking at here, all the numbers inside the white arrows represent the actual rainfall that we've received at McGee-Tyson, and the green numbers represent the normals over the last 30 years. It's just something we'll keep an eye on because we are still technically under a drought across much of East Tennessee. Now, how much rain can we expect today? Watch how this begins to slowly populate. The second half of the day gets a little more active. We could pick up 1/3 of an inch by this account by 5 o'clock today. Take it into about 11 o'clock tonight. Looks like we may pick up closer to a 1/2 inch around Knoxville, maybe closer to a ½ inch or so in Wartburg and Crossville and Middlesboro. So we will find some beneficial rain, but it may come with some thunder and maybe in some cases a little bit of wind. By the way, the Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees. I remember that from science class from middle school. Earth is tilted. So what does that mean? It gives us some seasons. And of course, I want to wish you seasons greetings because I guess we say that around Christmas time. But you could say it in June. You could say it in September and March, I guess, too. But this is the winter solstice that we're talking about. It occurs astronomically at 4:50 in the morning while many of us are asleep. But that's when winter technically begins, and we'll say hello to winter and goodbye to autumn. By the way, go Vols. The big game, of course, is in Columbus. I mention this because, well, you already knew this, but I hope if you're going that you're wearing something warm. Hopefully maybe a good set of gloves and maybe some hand warmers, because both teams, well, they're 10-2. I can tell you this, the weather's going to be awfully cold. Temperatures for kickoff around 25. Should end the fourth quarter around 22, and the wind chills will be in the mid-teens. Mid-teens, I think, for wind chills. It doesn't take much wind when you're in the mid-20s because about 5 to 10 plus can make it feel awfully cold. And Ohio Stadium will be where all eyes are. Prime time on ABC/ESPN Saturday night. So for our headlines, look for plenty of clouds today and fog. It's a warm day. So yes, you can almost look a little springy. You could do that. But it's going to be a gusty day too, and those winds will pick up. Maybe not now, but certainly by the time we hit midday. So from 10 to 2, we should begin to see the winds pick up and gust around 35, and I suspect we're also going to see the showers and storms advance from the west. Showers and storms could be on the stronger side, especially west of I-75, the way I see it, and clouds to sunshine tomorrow. It looked like it was going to be a mostly sunny day tomorrow, but it might take until about 9 or 10 o'clock for the clouds to break up tomorrow, but it will ultimately end as a bright sunny day on Thursday. Oh yes, and for Michael's purpose here, there will be some mountain flakes on Friday afternoon, Friday night, and some of that could linger into Saturday morning for the Smokies. But it's not to be unheard of that some might get a sighting of some flakes if you're in the Plateau or maybe Harlan County, Kentucky. Temperatures right now do show warm weather in the southeast, but there is still some cold air. I'm looking at Bismarck. They're at 11 degrees. That's pretty cold. So winter is maybe on a vacation from here. While it is 64 degrees currently in Memphis. Pretty amazing. And for wind chills, forget about it. It's -1 in Bismarck. That's some cold air. So anything in that purple fuchsia color gives you a wind chill that's in the single digits. I got a couple other comments. I want to say good morning to Kay Human. She says good morning. Happy to have her here. I mentioned Danny, mentioned Fred, mentioned Michael. If you're on the call and want to leave a comment, would love to say hi to you. I see Carrie Wilson is watching. R.D. Ford is watching. And Brandy is watching. Thankful for her and for Darcy, who's also watching from the convenience of your phone or your computer, I imagine, at this time. But look at what a difference. I mean, you look at the warm air in the southeast versus the cold air up toward the northern plains. Here's my valley planner. This is why it's going to be a dramatic day. You might think we're still in the mid-50s at 9 a.m., and we probably will be. But suddenly you're going to see things jump in a few hours from 11 a.m. to noon, and then jump up to about 69 around 1 o'clock. And then it's going to start to cool back down a wee bit, but with clouds and fog, warm conditions, gusty winds, and showers and storms developing. Look for an 80% chance of rain for today, and it's pretty much the only game in town, although the mountains could have about at least a 30% chance, I think, Friday afternoon, Friday night, for some wet flakes mixing in with some rain initially. Now, the isolated severe storms, not a misprint here. The Storm Prediction Center did kind of change their tune as of last night or yesterday afternoon, but they did put much of Tennessee in that dark green area, which would suggest isolated severe storms. Doesn't mean everyone's going to get one. Doesn't mean everyone should bank on getting one, but there's the possibility. If you're in Jellicoe, even if you're in Tazewell, Jeff City, or Crossville, there's a chance that you might get an isolated severe storm today. Obviously, there's no concern for weather tomorrow. That's of severe weather. It's quiet here. Maybe a few thunderstorms in South Florida. But you look at Thursday into Friday, same situation. Things get really quiet as it starts to get colder in the southeast, so there's going to be very little activity in terms of thunder during that time frame. So here's the timing from the Futurecast. It's now 6:54. If you have a comment, love to see it. I'm going to check back with that in just a moment. But notice where the front is at 8 o'clock versus where it is at noon. Even at noon, we're on the warm side of this front. We're still on the front is still to the west of Knoxville. That's why I think we've got a good chance to see our temperatures slide into the mid to upper 60s. And yes, rain will be following behind that front. It'll fill in for the drive home, and some of those will be weakening for the evening hours tonight. Futurecast tomorrow, some residual clouds will give way to bright sun. And then it's not until Friday afternoon particularly, once this front comes through, there'll be enough moisture in the air from Kentucky to drop it down and find a new home in the Smokies. I think you'll find that a possibility during the course of your Friday afternoon, Friday night, and possibly the wee hours of Saturday morning, as you see illustrated here. You'll notice there are a few flakes around maybe Pike County, Kentucky, Harlan County, Kentucky, and some of the higher terrain in there, into the Commonwealth as well as the Smokies, but it won't necessarily last the entire day on Saturday. Much of it should fade away and be more of a nuisance flakes, but it may be the last snowflake anyone sees nearby until and after Christmas. Today, looking for a high of 69. Record high is 73. I just put that out there for context, because anytime it gets warm, someone usually will ask me, is this a record? No, it's not actually, but it's close. It's within 4. I think it's within 4 degrees. Clouds and warm and gusty, showers and storms, and the winds, don't forget those. They might be slow now, but once we get toward 11, 12, 1, 2 p.m., it suddenly got windy around here. That's what I expect to see, and winds should be around 35 miles per hour. 67 for Oak Ridge. Look for a high in Athens of 69. And 69 degrees in Morristown. So just checking in with you. I got another note from Darcy. She says, good morning. Happy hump day. Drive safely. Absolutely. Anytime you got fog, good idea to keep the low beams going. And Michael Hawk has a follow-up. He says, I bet the aliens flying those drones stole our snow. Maybe they did. They could have taken them away and saved them for a rainy day. Or what is it? Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. A little bit of Perry Como there. But anyway, 73 for high in Newport, 62 in Oneida, 65 for high temperature if you're traveling to Nashville. Memphis is already at 64. So they're actually going to be going down in the wake of the front. If you're headed to Atlanta, they should easily make it in the upper 60s to around 70. And the warm spots would be Augusta, Georgia, also around 73 today. It is 6:57. Look for a low overnight tonight of 37. The rain showers should end in the evening, which means most of the night it's just mostly cloudy with some patches of fog. Winds will slow down from 5 to 15 in the evening, more like 3 to 8 in the overnight period. Look for a freezing start if you're in Crossville, Fairfield Glade, as well as maybe Lake Tansy. 32 in Wartburg tomorrow morning, 35 Oak Ridge, 37 in Knoxville. So the cold air will come back. Keep in mind the normal low is 33. This time of year, we should be in the upper 30s for Newport, Sevierville, and Pigeon Forge. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast with Christmas Eve in view. Yes, it's 52 tomorrow. That's cooler. Clouds of sun, and then winter starts at 4:50. That should say 4:20. Did I say 4:20? Yeah, 4:20 in the morning. I have to double check that time. But anyway, Christmas Eve, plenty of sunshine. I think Santa will get to his destinations with no issues, no problems. But it will be cold. It would have been cold enough for snow when you're in the 20s Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday morning, and so on. But there's just not enough moisture to produce that snow, at least in the short term. So our best chance will come Friday night and Saturday, particularly for the Smokies heading into that time frame. By the way, it's what time is it? It's now 6:58. I'm so glad that you have stuck around with me for this long anyway. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to say hi. Got a note from Karen Robbins. She's also on here. She says, good morning from Fairfield Glade. Have a great day all. Very happy that she's here. And Marilyn Bell also giving us a good advice. Travel safe today. With that fog, it's always important to be extra safe on the roads. By the way, if you haven't picked up, maybe you'd like to subscribe on YouTube if that's your preferred platform. I do post this live stream on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@CaptainAccurate. There's nothing there to see in terms of the my comment just popped back on. Yeah, if you want to see the YouTube, nothing to see there in terms of anything different. It's the same platform, just a different service. If you want to download the free Captain Accurate weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic, it's now added quite a few extra bonuses, including power outages, the 10-day forecast. Yes, it has 10 days now for virtually any location on the planet, in addition to the air quality alerts, the power outages, so many extra things, including all the National Weather Service alerts, plus 3 extras. Just go to the App Store, Google Play. And if you want to join us on Premium, we're doing quite a bit of extra homework each and every day. We're looking at the weather that goes beyond the next 7 days. My winter weather outlook, which was posted at the end of October, still has a lot of different predictions still yet to be made. You could check out that video. It runs over just over 15 minutes long. But you are the first to see every snow forecast. If you know someone in your life that is a weather enthusiast, they would perhaps love a stocking stuffer. Join them, just $4.99 a month. It is, you can cancel at any time. That works out to 16 cents a day. If you'd like to join us, we do a lot of things beyond the next 7 days, and you might want to know what's happening around New Year's Eve. Maybe you want to know what's happening on New Year's Day and beyond. Some of those answers could surprise you as some of my premium members are getting ready for January. More Facebook Lives. If you're a premium member, you get fewer ads. I would encourage you to check us out if you haven't. And some of you, I do know, come in just for the winter months. So there is some benefit to joining us during the winter months as you prepare for winter, because it's far from over. It's really just getting started. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.